Welcome to the Wise Take DFS podcast. I am your host, CK013. You can find me on Twitter at CK_013, and I'm joined once again by one of Wise Take's finest NBA DFS analysts, Mr. BKBorn. You can find him on Twitter at BKBorn8315. BK, my man, I appreciate you joining me tonight. How you doing?
Well, Chalk City seems to have hit with double overtime in the Celtics game, so I'm probably doing just as well as everybody else in the world is today in NBA DFS.
Yeah, Chalk City did hit. It wasn't supposed to. And listen, I was super heavy on Rozier and Tatum and Morris, like a lot of the Boston guys in Monroe. So like I played the Chalk today. Yeah, I played Durant, played all those guys. But I thought I was done. It looked like all the Boston dudes, the whole game, even Beal, everybody, they were just going to bust. And then just the overtime, it was incredible. Boston was killing them in the first half, too. Like it looked like they were about to put them away, and then they just wouldn't go away, and the next thing you know, tied game. And boom, Terry Rozier goes for 50. Morris goes for 50. But either way, Either way, you still needed some exposure to that Orlando-Milwaukee game, at least as of now. I mean, as we're talking, there's still two games playing right now, but it seemed like, the Milwaukee-Orlando game, a lot of people seem to ignore, which is rare, because usually the first game of the slate is like super chalk, and that wasn't the case today. It was a 10-point spread. It was two teams that people aren't as big on and compared to the other games on the slate, and look what happened. That game went under-owned, and you had to have guys in there to really win something tonight. Simmons and DJ Augustine went like 10x on DraftKings, man. Insane. Wow. Just like insane. Your boy Giannis, aka Big D, did his thing, man. Went for almost 70.
I should have
68.
I wish I had more of him, because I did have some lineups with him, but that was just like a nut matchup with no Gordon, because Gordon is what makes them good against power forwards, but it's literally what Hazonia against them. Like it's a great matchup for him. I wish I had more of him, but I think that's some.
And a lot of the time, it ends up being mostly Isaac, because a lot of time they'll put Hazonia at the 2 outside, and it'll be Isaac guarding him. So, yeah, man, he did his thing. the entire game just went nuts, man.
The winning lineup is most definitely probably going to have Durant and Giannis in it. It's my guess.
It'll probably have Durant, Giannis,
especially with all the value.
And then Simmons,
and
Augustine,
Beal with the 60.
Yeah, it was wild. Wow. It's going to be a crazy high score tonight, and we'll see what it is. We're starting the show early tonight, which is it's cool. Definitely down for it. It's rare to do it this early, but it feels good, man. I got a little extra energy. I can feel it. Didn't even have to take a nap for this one. That's been not doing me so good, bro. A couple times in a row, I've taken naps and like woke up kind of late. If you know what I'm saying. And it's weird, because I like you're waking up late in the morning, like normal people. I'm waking up late at night, so it's like guys are like staying up late. It's like, you know what I mean? I'm like,
I wish I could do that.
It's wild, man.
I gotta wake up early almost every day.
Oh, I wake up early. I just go to bed late too. But anyway, man, we got a little bit of a bigger slate here. We got like 11 games or 9 games? No, it's 11, right?
9. I think it's 9.
Yeah, you're right. It's 9. 9 games, man. We got a lot to talk about. There's some injury information, I'm sure, but we'll just kind of go position by position, and we'll talk about it as it comes up, because this is a first look, so it's the first time we're looking at this. But I know I kept seeing them damn notifications today, like we always do, for tomorrow. I'm sitting here waiting for like important news about Kuzma, some of these guys, and then I'm getting all this information about tomorrow's game. It's just the worst. I hate that. But I'm sure there's a bunch of stuff that we can dig up. So I'll take a look at some of this stuff while you start us off. I want you to talk to me about some point guards. You cover FanDuel. I'll look at DraftKings. BK, take me down around a 6K range. What do you see on a first look?
All right. So Lillard up top, 9,700 against Cleveland. Cleveland has been a bit better against point guards, but I don't really care when it comes to Lillard. Lillard is basically playing as good or better than Westbrook lately. He's going to be motivated to face LeBron James. He's at home, which is where we love to play with Lillard. So 9,700, I got no problem going there. I could see him going for a nice 50 spot here. Kemba Walker, I don't like to play him on the road, but he's getting Schroeder defense. Fast pace because they're playing at a faster pace. He's 8,300, so you can go there. Chris Paul against the Clippers, revenge game. He's at home, 8,300. I think he had one good game against them, one bad game. The last game wasn't that great. He's at home now, so probably could do a little better here. If you think that this game will stay close, then Chris Paul is definitely a way to go. The issue is I think this game might blow out because Houston is playing really well, and the Clippers are just really bad defensively. So if you play Paul, which I think he'll be pretty popular, you might want to bring it back with some players. You might as well stack the game if you're playing Paul, in my opinion. Under him, Ricky Rubio against the Suns. Nut matchup, obviously, against Elf Payton defense. He is 7,400. He did have a bad game his last time out. Not against the Suns, but just his last game in general. But against the Suns, you can still go there. There's one issue with him is that Dante Exum is coming back, but I doubt he plays a ton of minutes. So we can still play Rubio probably a couple more times until Exum gets his 20 minutes a game. I don't think he'll play that much. So Rubio, I think, is just fine, especially in this nut matchup. Chris Dunn against Memphis. Memphis has been one of the worst teams against point guards, so I definitely like that. I only play Dunn when Nwaba does not start. So Holiday has been out for a couple of games. Now that they're on the road, I don't really know what the rule is with that. I think it's when they're on the road they have to play everybody, right? And when they're at home, they're allowed to sit everyone except for one veteran or something like that.
I think, yeah. There's a little bit more to it. Like, there's also like a notice thing. I think, like if they give notice, it's almost like a sick day. That's what it's becoming. It's becoming like a sick day. You got to give them 24 hours notice, or else it's like an unexcused day or some shit like that. You know what I mean? That's almost what it's like becoming. But anyway, keep going.
So if Nwaba starts, what time is this game? 8 o'clock. We should get word of what the starting lineup is before lock. If Nwaba starts, I will be off Dunn. If Nwaba's on the bench, Dunn gets a huge amount of the usage, and Markkanen's out, I believe. So 6,900 is a great price to play him against a team that has been having issues with point guards. So I definitely like Dunn if that situation occurs, like I said, with Nwaba on the bench. I don't think Nwaba will be on the bench. I think they'll go to the Holiday lineup here because they're on the road. Under that, Dennis Schroeder. Charlotte has been absolute garbage lately. They're not really playing for anything. So, in my opinion, it seems like they're still getting the minutes, but they're so far out of like AFC that I don't think they really give a crap. So, they're just not playing any defense. And I'm literally stacking teams against them because teams are scoring 120 points against them. Schroeder at home, we saw that Atlanta played a lot better at home. They're like these teams that are tanking. I'm guessing that the memo that they got, the email, whatever, that from the league has to do with home games. Like they're just playing a lot harder at home. They're playing their starters more minutes at home. So Schroeder against OKC his last time out, he played like 31 minutes. I expect him to play right around that same amount of minutes for this game. And against Charlotte, I will be stacking this game. 6,600, I could definitely see him getting 6x here. I have a lot of interest in Schroeder tomorrow. That's it for over 6K for me.
Gotcha. Yeah. Looking over on DraftKings, Dame is the first guy that I'm going to. I mean, I'll discuss Harden at shooting guard because obviously he's over there in FanDuel. But Dame is the first guy I'm looking at. Paulie's been hyping this game up for like a week now. This Cleveland-Portland game, he's just been going nuts, hyping this game up, and I'm with him. You know, it's definitely a situation I think we do want to get some exposure to. So Dame at 9.6 on DraftKings is the first guy that pops out. Ben Simmons against the Knicks. It's in the Garden, and the Knicks have nothing to play for, but they are still terrible against point guards. I know I've been let down a couple times attacking the Knicks with point guards, but a lot of that has just been the point guards they were playing just having bad days. Like even DSJ, he ended up with 30 against the Knicks. And he should have gotten a lot more. Like at halftime, he had like barely anything because he couldn't shoot for shit. But he ended up finishing with 30. He was able to salvage his night. That's how bad the Knicks defense is against point guards. So Ben Simmons, I could take a look at. Obviously, on FanDuel, he's power forward, so that's a different conversation. We'll hear BK's take on him later. But he's is point guard eligible on DraftKings. With 8.7, I think I can go there. BK, you mentioned Chris Paul. He's 8.6 on DraftKings. If that's a fair price for the way he's been playing, I could definitely do it. Don't mind Kemba. I heard you mention Kemba, and like one thing Kemba's kind of playing for is almost a home. Like I know he's still got a year on his contract. I did check that up. So next year he's kind of tied up, but they did try to get rid of him this year. So I wouldn't be surprised if in the offseason they were trying to do the same. So this could be almost like an additioning for Kemba. And I've noticed he's been because like you said, like they're not really playing for anything. But him and Dwight seem to be consistently, and even Batum now. Batum's woken up a little bit. They're still going out there and they're still playing and they're still getting their minutes. So there's a reason for something. So I'm with you there, and obviously I think that's a great call. Charlotte is not playing any defense at all. Centers have been killing Dwight Howard. Point guards have been killing Kemba. Just everybody is just killing them from all directions. So I definitely think that's something that we need to keep an eye on. Rubio 7-2 against Phoenix. Man, I'm not done with this dude. I'll take me some Rubio. And on the other side of that, Elf Payton is 6-4 on DraftKings.
Don't do it. His minutes are gone. They're playing Shaquille Harrison like
His minutes
he's not playing 30 minutes a game anymore.
His minutes have taken a serious dive. It's not just a small dive. It's a serious dive. Like this man went from playing 35 to 39 minutes, 29, 24, 29, 27, and 23. So I'm not exactly sure what they're doing. I don't know why they're doing this. Like, why did you even bring him here? But
same thing happened in Orlando. Like,
yeah, I mean,
whatever it is, he's just not that great.
Apparently. Evidently they saw already from him what they wanted to see for him before.
Or maybe they were winning too many games.
Yeah,
maybe they were playing.
Maybe they were playing a little bit too well.
They want to lose.
Slow them down.
All right.
I don't think they're in any jeopardy of that.
You can't play 30 minutes anymore.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot to like at point guard. There's definitely lots to like. Go ahead, BK. Take us down to Value Town.
All right. So in Value Town, there's only, 2 plays I like here. I like Teodosic. He will definitely be getting James Harden defense. Chris Paul will be probably guarding Austin Rivers. And they'll let Harden play his lazy defense against Teodosic. Teodosic did play well in the last matchup, so he put up, at this price, probably right around 6x. So if you want to pay down, I think that's a safe play. And the rest of these plays are pretty risky. Dante Exum, like I said, he's going to play. He has played he's not going to be like, I don't think he's like still injured, so he could play 15 to 20 minutes. NATO is out, so I see no reason why he can't get those kind of minutes. And it's a nut matchup, so if this game blows out in any direction, he'll get extra minutes. The 4K price is kind of high, but this is probably more of a donkey play. I would not trust him in anything other than that. And that's it.
Okay, so not as deep on the value front. On DraftKings, DeJounte Murray is interesting. He's another guy whose minutes are insecure. You really don't know what you're going to get from him, but he's going to be matched up with Rajon Rondo. Just interesting. I think 5'9" is still too expensive. I think DeJounte Murray, the way he's been playing lately, I need him to be like right around the 5, maybe like 5'2", 5'3" for me to feel comfortable, even against a guy like Rondo. Not to mention Rondo's a pretty good rebounder, so that could take away some of DeJounte's rebounding upside. Going down from there, it's pretty rough. I think Chalmers is supposed to be out again. I'm pretty sure that he's supposed to be ruled out, but I don't see a tag on Harrison, so it's possible that Harrison comes back. No, he remains out Thursday against the Bulls.
Might play though.
So Tyreek might play.
Tyreek Evans might play. Yeah, he is. That could be cool. He was he should probably be pretty close to playing.
Hold up. Your connection has been kind of choppy this entire show, so I need you to repeat that real quick.
I said Tyreek Evans was upgraded to questionable for the last game? No, he was upgraded for this game. So if they upgrade him, usually that means that he could play. Yeah, he could play.
Awesome. I could definitely go for that. Andrew Harrison is already ruled out, it looks like, too, by the way. It's rough, man. It really is. It's Darren Collison's 4.6. He's another guy. He's not getting the minutes just yet, but we know what he's capable of. His price is
Yeah.
cheap. It's not pretty down here. Definitely not. You could maybe go back to a Tyler Dorsey. After he let a lot of people down the other day, only got himself 18 minutes that day out of nowhere and just played terrible. So I don't anticipate too many people to be in a rush to go back there. Yeah, it's rough, man. It really is. It's rough down here in Value Town. But you know what, though? The good thing is above 6K was pretty stacked. So we do have the plays. We just maybe this isn't where we're getting.
Yeah, there's a lot of
value
plays.
Move us over to shooting guard, BK.
Yeah,
what you got for us?
All right, up top, James Harden, obviously, priced up 11.3. At this point, if you play him, I'd probably stack it once again because the Clippers are just not that great. Houston will be at home. This game has I have a feeling this game kind of blows out. But the price is decent. He's under 12K, so you could definitely go there. Donovan Mitchell at 8.2. He had one game where he put up a 50 against them. Another game where he put up right in the 30s. I think he's safe enough for cash games. But for that GPP upside, that's probably tough for him to get another 50 or 48 spot. Nicholas Batum. So shout out to Cam. Cam talked to me in a Slack chat, but I did not play him the last time out against Drew Holiday. I don't play guys against Drew Holiday usually. But what got him to value was the, 7? Between blocks and steals, he had 7 of them, which is 21 points. If those things did not happen, he would not have hit the value. I think his price is just a little bit too high. For him, you would need this game to be close for Batum to hit value. So this would be definitely another game stack. And I'm stacking this game. So I will have Batum somewhere, but it'll be in the same lineup where I play Schroeder and I'll play Kemba and whoever else I stack from this game. Devin Booker is now 7,500, super cheap. We haven't seen him this low in a while, but he kind of seems to be hitting right around 30 to 35 FanDuel points. They're kind of stacked. They got Warren, they got Jackson, they got Elf. So usually somebody has to be out for him to hit those 40s and 50s that he was hitting earlier before, but still a decent spot for Devin Booker. It's a young stud versus a young stud. CJ McCollum, under him, 7,300. If you don't play Lillard, you could play CJ. The Cavs have actually been good against point guards, so you could go to CJ McCollum, who the Cavs have been bad against shooting guards, so you could go there. He'll be a lot lower owned than Lillard will, in my opinion. And he's been pretty consistent. I think 9 out of the last 10 games, he's hit in between 30 to 40 FanDuel points, so I don't think he'll kill your lineup tomorrow. But he just hasn't shown that ceiling in a while. And probably, depending on what they say about Tyreek Evans, is against the Bulls. If they say that he's going to play 30 minutes, you can go there because he's priced down to 7,200. But you don't really know what that situation is going to be like, so you got to wait more tomorrow for that. And that's really all the guys I have interest in above 6K.
Yeah, another deep position. DraftKings, same thing. James Harden at the top, starting with him against the Clippers. Love it. Next guy down. Oladipo is 8.2. Pretty significant drop. 11.2 down to 8.2 is the next guy. But Oladipo's down to 8.2 on DraftKings. And I think that's interesting because he's got to match up with Toronto, who I know is a good defensive team. But he has had good games against Toronto in the past. In fact, the last time he played Toronto was this season, and he put up a 65 against them. I think it's interesting because he hasn't been playing well if you look at his game logs, and I think that's why his price has come down so drastically. But he's taking, in his last 2 games, he took at least 20 shots or more in his last 2 games, 20 and 21 shots. His last game against Philly, he was terrible. 26.5 is what he put up. He was 8-7 that day. He shot 4 for 21. He just had a horrible shooting night. So I think there's value there with that price decrease against Toronto. I'm about to make a case for everybody here, man. Drew Holiday, 8K, just the dude's back. He's doing his thing again. He's doing 40, 40, 40, 40. He had that one shitty game, and he's back to 40, 40, 40, 40. Seems like a pretty safe play even against the Spurs with the Spurs the way they are nowadays. Batum, shout out to Cam, like you said. Definitely a great call on Batum. He's been on the Batum chamber for a while. Seems like he's waking up. I don't mind it, but he's 7-8 now. I think some of the upside might be taken out of his price. He's not going to go for 60 every day. Or is he, Cam?
Yeah.
Lou Will 7-6. He's done it before against Houston plenty of times. I could be sold on that. Donovan Mitchell is 7-4 against Phoenix. Could definitely get me some of that. Devin Booker, that was the guy that I skipped. Devin Booker, as you mentioned, his price is cheap. His price is down on DraftKings as well. He's 7-5. So he's 7-5. He took 16 shots in his last game, which was against Cleveland. He didn't play well. He had 5 turnovers. He took 16 shots. And before that, he didn't play against Charlotte. And then before that, 22 and 22. The shot attempts are there, and he's only 7-5. So like I'm looking at his game logs against Utah this year, and they're not pretty. He hasn't really done that well against them. One game he did okay. He got a 40. He was 7,500 at that day too. But in all of the games, his shot attempts are 19, 24, and 20, and that's this year. Now, I granted a lot of that was probably before they had Elf, before they had, before Josh Jackson was the player he was now. But at 7-5, I know it's Utah. He's not a guy I'm going to go too heavy on because I like a lot of these guys already. But he's definitely somebody you want a little bit of just because his price is down, right? Devin Booker, he's got the upside.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we obviously with the matchup against
That's
Utah,
the best price we're going to get him at, I think.
Yeah, right.
You're not going to get him at that price again, so.
Yeah, it's tough. Yes. And then, like you said, man, Tyreek the Freak, he's 7K on DraftKings. So we'd have to, if there's no information, maybe I'll put a sprinkle. If I'm doing a bunch of lineups, maybe a sprinkle of him because he's 7K. But without information, we just can't take a stance. He's missed so many games. He's not even hurt. They said it's a rib thing, but obviously it's a tank thing. It's about them just wanting to suck as badly as possible. So even if he plays, we don't know how much they're going to play, how they're going to play him. It's just a confusing situation, but we will acknowledge a great matchup against Chicago, and obviously his price reduction is nice. BK, take us down to Value Town. What are you seeing on there?
All right, let's see. Not much. Rodney Hood, they said that when he comes back, he's going to start, but he's coming off an injury, so he would likely still be on a minutes restriction. 5,500 against Portland. Just kind of got to wait and see on the news on him. Eric Gordon is now back to his 4,800 price tag, which is super cheap against the Clippers. He basically had one bad game, his last game against the Spurs, which is understandable, and all of a sudden FanDuel decided they're going to drop him like $700 or something. So that's still a great price for him. Danny Green, this is the kind of spots where I play Danny Green, but it's very risky with what the Spurs are doing. I mean, Spurs kind of killed everybody a couple games ago with Pop's rotations. He just decides to bench people or decides when he's going to play someone heavy minutes and when he's not. But if he gets the minutes that he normally has been getting, which is in the 20s, against this fast-paced Pelicans team, Danny Green would be a great play at 4,200. But do you want to take that chance on a 9-game slate? So if you're multi-entering, you can go there with Green. J.R. Smith is now coming off the bench. I'd rather play him if Hood is out. They'll probably start Korver again. I don't think J.R. Smith comes back to the starting lineup for the rest of the season. He's coming off the bench. So if Hood is out, I'll definitely go there because he'll still play 20 to 25 minutes. He'll still be motivated to, prove them wrong for benching him, and at 3,800, that's a great price. And lastly, Ginobili. The last time he played against the Pelicans, which was a couple weeks ago, he put up almost right around 6x. He put up like 25 FanDuel points. So a great spot for him at the near minimum, 3,600. That's it for the Value Town.
Yeah, DraftKings, a lot of the same guys are in play. You mentioned Eric Gordon. He's 5K over there. Not too much of a difference. Still cool with it. Jordan Clarkson, you could take a chance on in this environment, although his minutes are suspect. Even with Hood out, his minutes have been suspect. So he's the backup point guard. Just hasn't really gone well for him too much. But a lot of the guys you mentioned, obviously viable. One guy I'll mention, just to not repeat too much, Jeremy Lamb's actually questionable with a back injury. So if Jeremy Lamb is out, I think we could take a look at Malik Monk. We've seen flashes of him. Paulie's kind of been onto him for a little while already. So he's not, again, this isn't necessarily like an all-in type play, but he's playing minutes already, 15, 21, 13, 12, his last 4. And so if Lamb misses, I can see him kind of sliding in. Maybe his minutes closer to 20 or more solidified. And last time he played 20 minutes, he did put up 25 against Brooklyn. So when he's on the court, he's being used. It's just a matter of, I don't know, if he can get the play time. So that's a deeper play. He's min-priced on DraftKings. That's only if Jeremy Lamb, of course, is out. Or if you think this game is going to blow out. Aside from that, BK, move us over to small forwards, bro.
All right, so up top, above 6K range, it's not much. I only have interest in about three players. LeBron James, obviously, that's a yes, especially if you're playing Lillard or CJ. He's not killing your lineups at all. Like it's 50s to 60s every single game. Matchup wise, it's a good matchup. They don't really have anybody who's going to be able to guard him, so you could definitely go there. Torian Prince is 100% just a game stack for me. He is 7K. Yes, he has been playing very well. Like I said, I will have a stack of this game, and in that stack, I'll have Prince because he's just playing that well. For 7K, you need about 35 to 40, and the way Charlotte has been playing defense, I think you can go there. But the only way you play him is if that game is going to be close, and at that point, you might as well stack everybody in this game. And then lastly, Joe Ingles, 6,600 against the Suns. That's kind of pricey for him, so I mean, maybe you don't have to go there in a 9-game slate, but he has reached the 40s recently, so he could still, not necessarily break the slate for you, but he could be in a GPP winning lineup against a team like the Suns. And actually, I guess Robert Covington against the Knicks. The Knicks are just terrible defensively. Shooting guards, definitely at the wings. Like, they don't have anybody to really defend, so Robert Covington, you can go there at 6K. His last 4 or 5 games have been 30 to 40, so you can go there at 6K.
Yeah, on DraftKings, obviously LeBron would fit really nicely with that Portland-Cleveland game stack that Paulie's been talking about for days, so definitely cool with LeBron. I talked about a lot of these other guys, other positions, but the next guy down, Taurean Prince, as you mentioned, he's 6'8" on DraftKings against Charlotte, and toilet paper, as I like to call him, is TP. Nothing against his play. But his usage in the last 2 games since Bazemore has been gone is just insane. 30 in both games. His shot attempts, in the first game, Bazemore got hurt 12 or 13 minutes in. He ended up taking 18 shots. In the second game against OKC, he took 20 shots. So it's a similar situation to what I was mentioning with Booker a while back. When you see a guy in a matchup against a team where they're not really playing defense, whether it's at that position or just in general, as BK pointed out, and you have another guy on the other side who's not only playing massive minutes, 30, 35, and 33, but is also taking close to 20, if not more than 20 shots a game. It's something you can't ignore because his price is 6'8", and while we're looking at Taurean Prince, that seems high for Taurean Prince. Taurean Prince taking 20-plus shots a game, maybe that's not so high for Taurean Prince. So definitely going to be something that we want to look at. He's also a guy that's going to get rebounds when he's on the board or when he's on the floor. Now, Dwight Howard's in this game, so the rebounding upside is a little questionable. But Atlanta is so bad at rebounding that guys like him really have to step in and try to grab a lot of those. 6 and 8 rebounds in his last 2 games, 7 and 3 assists. He's kind of doing a little bit of everything. So you combine that with the shot attempts. I know it seems crazy, but until he has that game, and this could be that spot, but until he has that game where he's not shooting 18, 20, 21, 22 shots, then we have to consider the guy, even at an expensive price. And then the same thing kind of with Jingles. Here's the difference between him to me and Joe Ingles. Difference is, Taurean Prince is playing a lot better, but Joe Ingles has also been playing well. Taurean Prince is taking those 18, 20 shots. Joe Ingles only taking 10, 11, 10. He's been shooting really well, that's the thing, and he's taking a lot of threes. So Ingles is a little bit more valuable on DraftKings because you get the extra points for the threes. He's taking... the threes he takes per game are awesome. That's where his upside is. But the problem is, if he's not hitting those threes, he's not always going to bring you all that upside. Because he's only taken, for instance, 10, 11, and 10 shots his last 3 games. 5, 6, and 6 of them were threes. So it's it's all or nothing. He's hitting a 3 or he's not hitting a 3. So it's, perfect GPP scenario. But the minutes that he plays, typically, in a close game, he's usually pretty good for some solid minutes. So he's definitely a guy we could look to. But hopefully we can find some stuff in Value Town because I'm not crazy about the options up here aside from LeBron and game stacks, of course. What do you see in Value Town, BK?
All right, value-wise, Josh Jackson, if we get news that he starts, I like him. Coming off the bench, maybe not so much. But of course, NBA guys, these guys just can't tell us. Even though I'm sure he knew way before the game started that he was going to go to this type of lineup, but he's not going to tell us that, right? He's not going to spoil the surprise. So if we do get word that he's going to start early, then I like him. But otherwise, that's a little bit more of a risk. Wilson Chandler played a ton of minutes. The last game, I think he played like 41 minutes against, was it the Lakers? Let's see. 41 minutes. He put a 48 against the Lakers. Um, don't know if that's going to happen again minute-wise. The matchup is not that fast-paced, but Detroit is not that great against shooting guards and small forwards, so, definitely a GPP play. David Nawaba, like I said, my opinion is that he does not start tomorrow, but if he does, at this price on FanDuel, let's see, he is 4,500. Last game, he put up 29 and 27 minutes against the Clippers. So if he starts, I could go there. Rudy Gay, I really like. The last time against the Pelicans, he put up 41, which is basically 10x. Do I think that's going to happen again? No. But he only did that. He did that in 24 minutes, and which is what he's basically getting every single game. The Spurs are still, I think they're out of the playoff picture right now, but they're like right in like ninth. So they still are like, they're out of the playoffs, right? Or are they in there?
They're like,
are pretty sure.
Yeah, they're like ninth, right on the line. They're playing for stuff though. Like they're definitely playing for stuff.
So I mean, this is a game they probably want to win, unless they've conceded the season, which some people are saying, because the way he does his rotations, you kind of don't really know. I mean, I doubt they think they can win a championship, but you would think that they still want to make the playoffs. So Rudy Gay at this price against each one more defense or something, I definitely can go there. And lastly, very risky, but Lance Stevenson, in my opinion, he plays better at home. He is going against Toronto, which is decent defensively, but since OG has been out at the small forward position, is kind of like their weakness when you can attack. So 3,900 is almost mid-price for Lance Stevenson, so you can go there. And that's it for Value Town.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of great guys. Love the Rudy Gay call, man, especially because he was chalk recently and busted, but he's playing in a similar way that he was playing in those two games where he did really well. It was two games. He actually had two good games this year against New Orleans, and even last year he had one really good game where he went for 40. So I definitely think it's a matchup thing. He could expose them, take advantage of, like you said, guys like Etuan Moore trying to cover him. So I'm willing to go back. I know the minutes are only around anywhere from 18 to 20 to 22, but he didn't play much more than that when he went for 40 that day. So I definitely think it's a great call. I expect his ownership to be sort of low, assuming that the Spurs are getting their guys back like LMA Gasol, the guys are playing, and not too many people are going to be looking to go to Rudy Gay at that point. So from a game theory perspective in tournaments, as like a low exposure type guy, I do like that call a lot actually. So somebody I wasn't thinking about. Dylan Brooks is a guy we can take. He crushed Chicago last time. I don't expect the same result, but still somebody we can consider. Trevor Ariza is only 4.7 on DraftKings. I could definitely consider him. Jay Crowder at 4.7 on DraftKings. His minutes are there. He's got a different role here in Utah. They're utilizing him much better, much more. He seems happy. He seems appreciative to be there, and he's got a great matchup against Phoenix. So there's definitely some value options down here to make up for the lack of options up above 6K. So let's move it over to power forwards, BK. Talk to me about some of the guys up there.
All right, at power forward, obviously up top, Anthony Davis. He'll probably, I can't really say he's going to be popular because some people don't want to play him against the Spurs. He did not play well against the Spurs. The last game, he put up 47 FanDuel points. I myself will probably want to fade him here. He's just too expensive for a 9-game slate where you could probably go fair and balanced and get guys who you feel are underpriced and could probably have a really good lineup. But Anthony Davis, last 2 games he's put up over 70. So if he does it again, you got to have him to win a GPP. Ben Simmons, I tend to play him against teams that don't have rim protection. I don't really classify Enes Kanter as a shot blocker, so you can go there. He played pretty well against the Knicks the last time out. I think he put up 47, so you can go there 8-8. Griffin's a pass against Millsap defense. LaMarcus Aldridge kind of depends on the minutes. He's just coming off an injury. He played 25 minutes the last time out. If he is offered any type of restrictions, if he's going to play his normal 30 to 35 minutes, then you could definitely go here against the Pelicans. this is the kind of situation where he could put up 40 or 50. But he'll be low owned, so you don't really have to go there if it's a small field GPP. And lastly, probably Bobby Portis. He comes off the bench, but he's playing 25 to 30 minutes a game. The last 2 games, he's crushed. Power forwards, I recently have checked, and Memphis has been one of the worst teams against power forwards. I don't know how that has changed lately. They're
one of the worst teams against everybody. They're just bad. They're
8th worst.
They just suck.
The last 60 FanDuel points, so you could definitely go there with Bobby Portis at power forward. And that's really it.
Yeah, AD, similar, odd situation. Last time AD was cheaper than LeBron, and LeBron went out and did his thing. Today, AD's more expensive than LeBron, so they're almost in reverse roles. Not by much, about $100, but... he's in play, but you made a good point. He doesn't have good history against them, and part of that I think has to do with Pop. He's a smart guy.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing. That's for sure.
What he's doing. Right, exactly. So if Pop feels like winning, if he feels like playing well, then I can see a scenario where he's able to contain Anthony Davis. I still think Anthony Davis is relatively safe. He's not safe from an injury standpoint, Mr. Glass over there, but he's safe from a point standpoint. If he plays a full game, he should get you around high 40s, low 50s. Not enough for tournament value. You're not happy with that. You want the 60, 70 he's been doing recently. But, something to keep in mind. LeBron, I definitely like in this matchup. We talked about him. He's here, powerful, eligible. Blake Griffin, how much is Blake on FanDuel, BK?
He is 8K.
He's 8K. He's 7-8 on DraftKings. I don't mind it so much. I respect Millsap's defense. Don't get me wrong. But the price now that he's at 7-8 for really no reason. They brought his price lower than it's been in a while. He had one bad game against Utah. Before that, he was on a streak of going over 45 every time. And then he had one bad game. He was 8-1, and they just bumped him right back down to 7-8. So I don't love the matchup with Millsap. Yeah. I respect Millsap, but on DraftKings at 7-8, where you do get bonuses, not that Blake Griffin gets double-doubles often, but he can. Not that he's like shoots a ton of threes. Well, actually, he has been shooting a lot of threes lately. So on DraftKings, I think you can look at Blake. Again, not like an all-in type play. He's got a tough matchup. I do respect Millsap's defense. Bobby Portis, as you mentioned, he's 7K. It's a crazy price. It's a tournament player, right? It's not a guy you can really trust in a cash game scenario at that price, unless you know he was starting. But, as far as we know, Rolo will start. JaMychal Green's price came down to 6.5. That's kind of interesting. But if Tyreek Evans plays, then some of that usage might leave. And then on the other side of that Blake Griffin call, Paul Millsap, man, 6-1 on DraftKings. He's done really well against Blake in the past.
Yeah, FanDuel. You ready for the price on FanDuel?
What is he?
He is 7K.
Wow, 7K. Millsap is 7K. No shit. Well, DraftKings only type
his last 3 games. His last 3 games on FanDuel, 20, 22, and 36. But yeah, he's 4K. He's 7K on FanDuel. Yeah, makes no sense.
He's not quite ready for that. He's not playing a ton of minutes. No. Now, granted, against Sacramento, he played 23. That was a blowout. He played 26 against the Lakers. That was probably, I think that was more of a matchup issue. But yeah, I mean, that's crazy. 7K. I mean, you're still taking
Detroit has been bad against power forwards, but I can't pay that price.
Yeah, that's probably a DraftKings only type deal. BK, take us down to value 10. What you see down there?
All right, value range. Starting off with Derek Favors. He's in the 5K range against the Suns. Obviously, power forwards against the Suns. You can play that. I think he might be matched up with Bender. So it's not the greatest of matchup. He could back him down. Good post-up player. But he's just not getting that much of the minutes. But he has played well against the Suns. A very risky play, but with some upside, is Thad Young. His price has now dropped to 5.4 on FanDuel. The last game, he crushed that price, but before that, he was absolutely garbage. But he wasn't getting the minutes. So you might want to look into it up there or what the case may be, because before, he was playing 30, 38, 32 minutes, and he randomly went down to 23 and 22, which was the 2 games where he dudded. But then he went right back up to 31 and put up a 39. So at this price, that's almost 8x, almost 7x. So not many people will play him, but it's a stretch 4 against Ibaka. So I like it. Jarrell Martin, his price just doesn't go up as much as it probably should. He's 4,600 against Chicago. He's playing 29, 30 minutes the last couple of games, basically 30 minutes a game. So at 4,600, definitely some upside there. Ed Davis, I think, I like him. Portland could do, similar to what was it? The Suns did, where they went small because of Larry Nance. The Suns didn't even start Tyson Chandler that game. They decided to start, what was it? Was it Bender at center and Jackson small forward and Warren power forward? So I'm not necessarily saying that Portland's going to change their starting lineup, but this could be a game where Nurkic doesn't get his 30, 28, 29, 30 minutes, and maybe Ed Davis gets some extra run in some small ball. And he's been playing well, and he is relatively cheap. So there is some upside there. Frank Kaminsky is pretty consistent. If it's like your last guy in and you need to fit someone in this price range, he normally plays 20 to 25 minutes, can get you 20 to 25 FanDuel points. And I think he's 4-3 on FanDuel, so that's a good price. And lastly, Jeff Green is the reason I did not cash that last game that they played against the Suns. I was on him all day, but I got talked out of him, and I went to Larry Nance, which killed the world. With his 8, if I would have just went cheaper, I would have had a great night that night. The only way I would play him is if he starts at this point, which would mean that Rodney Hood would have to be out one more game. So if Rodney Hood is out, I will go with Jeff Green at 4,200 on FanDuel. And that's it for Value Town.
Yeah, there's definitely some plays. Seems like we got a little bit of value everywhere. Noah Vonleh, I would imagine, would be the flavor of the night. Marketing, I think, already been ruled out. He's 3-8 on DraftKings, so I expect Vonleh to be super popular. I know a lot of the sharp mass multi-insurers last time when he got ruled in were like 100% on the guy. I was pretty heavy on him, and he didn't crush, but it was okay. He played 27 minutes. That was the most important part. Most important takeaway. So I'll take that again against Memphis, a team that you just mentioned struggles pretty much against everybody. So he'll be the chalk of the day, I'm sure, with us already having the news. Another guy, Ilyasova's only 4K. Minutes are kind of up in the air. You don't really know what you're going to get, but he's 4K on DraftKings against the Knicks. Definitely worth a look there. Usually a place that's friendly for shooters. Ilyasova is definitely a guy that you want to be hitting his shots if you're going to play him. And one thing I'll mention, like there's a bunch of guys here, but I'll mention that Sabonis, I believe, is questionable. I think Sabonis has been ruled out. I have a feeling. And so if that's the case,
is he questionable?
I'm gonna double check.
Trevor Booker is also questionable.
Yeah, I think Sabonis is ruled out, and well, I'm gonna double check. He's questionable. I'm sorry, you're right. He's questionable. Sabonis is questionable, and Booker is questionable. So if that happens, they'll be a little thin between Thaddeus Young and Turner as far as the bigs down low. So we'll have to keep an eye on that situation for sure.
That definitely helps. Thad Young.
Yeah, it definitely helps Thad Young for sure. And Miles Turner, because sometimes that dude can't stay on the court. Speaking of Miles Turner, BK, move it over to centers, man. Take us all the way through. No stopping. What you like at center?
All right, at center, let's see. The first person that catches my eye, Rudy Gobert against the Suns. Let's see. The last game against them, I think it was pretty decent. I mean, just 35. Before that, 35. So 2 straight games with 35. But he's playing a lot better now than he was back then. His last game against a fast-paced team was the Pelicans. He played 39 minutes in that game. He put a 47. So this is kind of a similar game. The game stays close. He matches up with Tyson Chandler. I could definitely see him dominating here, getting some extra blocks against a young team. So I like that. DeAndre Jordan crushed the last game out. Here in this revenge game against Chris Paul, I see him. He should get some extra minutes. Against Houston last time, just 29 minutes. So with Doc, you really never know. So I probably wouldn't play him in cash games, but he does have a lot of upside here. Dwight Howard, I like a lot. Like I said, I'm stacking this game somewhere. I'll have him in my stack, but even without a stack, you can still play him here. He's been playing big minutes without Cody Zeller. Cody Zeller's out again. You should just play 5 minutes again against Atlanta, team that's weak in the front court. So I like that. Let's see. Marcus, so teams against Chicago. Chicago is worse against centers recently. Yeah, Yeah, right now they're literally the worst in the last 10 games. Last 5 games, same thing. The worst. We saw what DeAndre Jordan did against them. He put up, like 60? I think cash and DFS 5 against them. So Marcus Gasol, you can go there. He's only 7,800. So if he gives you a 50 or 60 here, you'll definitely take that. Under him, like we said, Miles Turner. He should get a good amount of minutes here with those guys questionable. Even if those guys plays, they're still banged up. So he should still get some stealing it. His last 4 games, 33, 43, 39, and 35 FanDuel points. 5 of the last 6 in the 30s. And he's only 6,800, so that puts him right in line for 6x. Definitely like that play in a good matchup against Valanciunas. Under him, actually, speaking of Valanciunas, his minutes are kind of inconsistent. But these are 2 teams that are likely going to the playoffs. I think this is like the 1 and 3 seed or the 1 and 4 seed. So some added motivation here. These are the kind of games where they like to play Valanciunas. And if he plays 25 to 30 minutes against centers, he could be a great play. Lastly, last couple of guys I like. Canner. The only reason I like him is because his price dropped. He's now under 6K for the first time in like half the season. He only played 20 minutes last game. He wasn't really coming off an injury, but he was kind of banged up and was questionable that day. If he's healthy and he plays his normal 25, 28 minutes in this matchup, this is the matchup that I think that on Christmas Day he put up like 60. So the upside is there. And then Kylo Quinn, he's been playing pretty well in his last couple of games. FanDuel, his price is kind of high, so maybe more of a DraftKings play. But in the last 3 games is over 30. 4 of the last 5 in the 30 to 40 range. So you can go there. And lastly, the last person I like is Tyson Chandler. Tyson Chandler did not start the last game because it was kind of a small ball game. But against Rudy Gobert, I expect him to start. He's 4,300 against Rudy Gobert. So if he plays 20 to 25 minutes, he should be able to get you value there. And that's it for center. I'm not sure if CK is there. CK, you there?
My bad. I was
right.
muted. But yeah, what I was saying was it's a phenomenal tournament slate. A lot of plays at every position. We'll see if anything opens up to give you that lock value. But if not, I kind of hope not, because right now it seems a little bit more the value is based more off of skill a little bit. With the exception of Vonleh, he's kind of a free square right now on DraftKings. But if something opens up, it's going to be obvious. Then maybe that is what you want. A couple things to open up, make you think a little bit. But either way, Joel Embiid, it just kind of like nobody's really talking about the dude lately, and it's because his play hasn't warranted it. He's just not really doing much. It just seems like even when he does well, it's like, I don't know, the 50 is just not as exciting when there's other centers that can go for 60 on a regular basis. Just the 50 seems less exciting. But he's in play, 9-7 at the Garden. Maybe he gets up here. The next guy I think I'm interested in, Dwight Howard, 8-5. Yeah, okay, revenge, but not even for the revenge. More so just because Atlanta is terrible against centers. We saw what a lot of these teams are doing to him. DeAndre Jordan, I don't mind, although his price is now up because of that God mode game he just had. Marcus Gasol is a great point. He didn't do so well against Chicago but for some reason they limited his minutes. This is a situation where maybe they don't, and maybe he gets a full run. And if he does get a full run against Chicago, he certainly should smash. Enes Kanter, like you said, man, this was God mode right here. Christmas Day, he did his thing, man. Just smashed. And then, man, this dude has never. Listen, I'm just gonna put this out there. This dude has never had a bad game against Philly. Over his last 2 years, we'll say that. Over his last 2 years. So think about last year when he played for OKC and he was only getting like 20 minutes a game, right? His first game against them last year when he played for OKC, he played 24 minutes, put up a 37.5. Second time played 20 minutes, put up a 43.25. And then this year he got 35 minutes against Philly on Christmas Day, put up a 60. And then he got 33 minutes last time they played back on February 12th, put up a 40. So he's never really had a bad game. So I'll just kind of throw that out there. With that said, just know Hornacek ain't playing no games, man. Well, he's playing games. He's not playing basketball games. He's playing a different kind of game. He's playing lottery games. So he's playing lottery games. So be careful. But I will say that he's got great history. We just have to mention it. Nurkic, fine if you're going to do it as part of that stack. Man, there's just so many guys. I don't mind going back to Powell against New Orleans just because he's done well against New Orleans this season. So there's just a lot of different ways to go, man. It's going to be a fun tournament slate. It really will. It's going to be a lot of fun. Before we do our top threes, BK, we're gonna go back to some top threes. Before we do that, I want to remind everybody, if you haven't already, check us out at wisesake.com. Check out our premium content if you're looking for more fire DFS stuff, man. Our man BK here writes the Cash Game article Monday through Friday. He also has his GPP plays in there for premium subscribers. Cash and DFS with his GPP article every Monday through Friday as well. We got Wisestream 7 days a week. We got tools to help you every day. We got Paulie D's cheat sheets on slates for 5 games or more. We got it all in the chat, man. I can't tell you how awesome the chat is at wisesake.com. Between getting your sweat on, between prepping before, these guys are in there all day doing research, communicating with each other, filling each other in the loop. And that's what it's all about. It's a community thing. You know, a lot of you guys, you got work. A lot of you guys have obligations. You don't have time to do what you got to do. And we're here to kind of try to help you with that. And the nation helps us too. We get help back from the nation. There'll be times where I'll go into the chat midday. I had a rough day. I had a busy day. And they'll catch me up on shit. So it really is a great community. It's what it's all about. It's just a community. And you should definitely come check it out if you haven't already. $2.50 gets you in the door. $2.50 gets you a day pass. One full day, you get access to everything. $2.50. No excuse not to try it. I'm also going to remind you, baseball season's right around the corner. So real quick, we are doing a special promo. So Johnny the Greek said last night he's going to give a free coaching session to anyone that purchases the MLB season pass. Now with this MLB season pass, you get the full MLB season, plus you get the rest of NBA season. On top of that, it's normally $174.99. If you use promo code LastChanceMLB, you'll get it for $25 off. So you get it for $149.99. So for $149.99, you'll get the MLB full season, you'll get the rest of the NBA, and you'll get a free coaching session from Johnny the Freak, a.k.a. Johnny the Greek. So something to consider if you want to ride with us for baseball, which I'm super excited about. All right, enough about that. BK, start me over some top threes, point guards.
Point guard top threes. Damian Lillard, Chris Paul, and Dennis Schroeder.
Okay, I will go with Dame as well as my number one. I'll go give me some Ricky Rubio. I like how somehow Cash and DFS made that dude my favorite player. Like, I hated Rubio. I was complaining about the dude all season. He kept on saying, your boy, your boy, your boy. And then he said it enough times, and then Rubio started playing well. So I started playing Rubio more. And then I started winning money with Rubio. And now, it's true. He is my boy. So a little mind game for Mr. Cash. And it worked. And then for a third option, I feel like there was somebody that I liked down on the value side. Oh, no. Everybody we liked was up top, wasn't it? There's just so many guys to choose from here. On DraftKings, it's so confusing, too, because some of these guys are shooting guards. I'll go with Chris Paul against the Clippers. All the other guys are shooting guards. I don't want to do that to you. I want to save those guys for shooting guard. BK, what you got for shooting guards?
Shooting guards, I'll go up top with James Harden. Then I'll go Nicholas Batum, since I like this game so much. And I'll go Eric Gordon because of that lovely $4,800 price tag.
Awesome. I definitely got to start off with James Harden at 11-2. Should be a pretty fast-paced game. Victor Oladipo, I'm going to roll the dice with him at 8-2. These are a really good price for him. I want to buy low on him if I could. And then, oh, man, there's some decent options here. Shooting guard is going to be fun tomorrow. I'll go with Drew Holiday for his floor. I think he's got a decent floor here against the Spurs. And leverage play off of AD. Small forwards, BK.
Small forwards, LeBron, of course, up top. Taurean Prince for my game stack. And Rudy Gay against the Pelicans.
I love the Rudy Gay call, man. I really do. That was nice. LeBron James, Rudy Gay for me as well. And, man, looks like we're on a lot of the same stuff, man, because I want to say TP. I do. I want to go with TP, but you know what? Maybe I will go with I'll go with JaMychal Green instead. Just because. But I do like Taurean Prince. The shot attempts are insane. I do like that guy a lot tomorrow. Power forwards, BK.
Power forwards, Anthony Davis up top. You talked me into Thad Young with all those injuries. So I like Thad Young, especially at this price. And I really like Ed Davis against the small ball Cleveland Cavaliers.
I'm with you, man. If Sabonis is out, I'd have to roll with you on Thad Young, definitely. Noah Vonleh, just too cheap on DraftKings, especially if you think he's going to get in the similar minutes that he had last time. And then Paul Millsap, 6'1". Again, that's a DraftKings only play. 7-something. That's kind of insane. But 6'1" on DraftKings, I think is doable. Centers, BK.
Centers, there's 4 guys I really like, but if I have to narrow it down to 3, I'm going to go with Dwight Howard, 1, Marc Gasol, 2, and Miles Turner, 3.
I like those calls for sure. I'll throw Cantor's name into the hat just because it is the God mode spot, although I am very, very worried about Hornacek. But I'll throw Cantor's name in the hat. I'll go with Dwight Howard also for the Atlanta spot. And then Miles Turner's in a phenomenal spot. If Sabonis is out, that's a really good spot. But I'll go with Nurk Dog just because of that Portland-Cleveland game. Representing my boy Paulie D because I know he's been talking about that game all week. And I also like the game. So it should be a lot of fun to stack. So, all right. Just going to do it for the Wise Take DFS podcast. If you're listening, if you're watching on YouTube, please click that thumbs up, that like button. Means a lot to us. Really helps us out. We appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel. We are growing. You don't want to miss any of this action. If you are listening on Podbean, give us a follow. If you're listening on iTunes, give us some 5-star reviews. Really helps us out. And, of course, if you're watching us on Facebook, please like and share to support the Wise Take Nation. BK, give the nation some closing thoughts.
It looks like a fun slate. A lot of good spots here. So I'm going to have several lineups here. I can't narrow it down to one, so I'll have several lineups. Also, get ready for baseball. FanDuel is starting to give out, they're doing satellites to win some tickets for MLB. So I'll be trying to win those $444 tickets for baseball. I'll be in those every night, and I hoping to get 3 or 4 before MLB starts on, I believe, March 30th. I think. Yes. That's what the ticket's for. So.
Yes, I am super excited for baseball. I can't wait. Anyway, man, appreciate you joining me as always. Did the show early, got it done a little bit after midnight. What do you know? Only once in a while. We stay up late, we do our thing, but once in a while, we can get a good night's sleep once in a while. Never hurt anybody. So, for BK Born, for myself, the entire Wise Take Nation, as always, good luck.